Staying alive in Harper City is harder than it seems. This is becoming apparent as we continue to follow the string of deaths and disappearances from inside its limits. Reports of more and more mysterious fires, crashes, and freak accidents are making their way up the radio waves to our station, and everyone listening can't help but wonder, can these horrific happenings be related? Or are they simply a part of Earth's rising crime rate? Whatever the cause may be, we send our thoughts and well wishes to the citizens of our sister planet in the lovely Harper City. More on this story as it develops.
Shut up! You Martians think you're so much better than us? Ugh. The late night shift at Pike's Mechanic is widely regarded by its employees as the worst one. Nobody wants to drop by at 1 in the morning, and when someone does, they're almost always unusual. But those cases are rare, and most of the time it's just your typical 10 to 1 waited at a lonely desk, listening to the electrical hum of the lights, and wishing you were anywhere else. Usually, I listened to the radio until it got annoying. Then I sat in silence and watched the clock. 12:56, 12:57. Today was one of the quiet days. But hey, I don't mind that so much. It's kinda nice. In the chaotic day-to-day of Harper City, you don't get a lot of time to yourself. I'm not much one for reflection, but I get to go home soon. Or at least to the hangar, which was close enough. My house, if you want to call it that, wasn't exactly a typical place of residence. But then again, me taking the graveyard shift wasn't typical either. Desperate times call for, well, more money, right? I checked the time again. 12:58. Of course. Hi, welcome to Pike's. What can I help you with today?
Ah, great. Someone's had their evening coffee.
I blinked. The woman who had just come in was short, young, and glaring at me. Nobody's exactly thrilled to be at a mechanic's at 1 in the morning, but she apparently wasn't afraid to take it out on me. I had a hard time holding it against her, though. She looked tired. The circles under her eyes were almost as dark as the eyes themselves. Sorry, tired. What can I do for you today? Tonight.
Oh, right. Yes, I need, help fixing my motorcycle. I crashed it. It's the broken blue one right outside the shop in the parking lot. That's mine.
Okay. What kind is it?
I don't know, it's my brother's.
So it's not yours?
That's what I said.
The bike was mine. I had hand-painted it in a color they didn't sell, so there was literally no way that she owned one. She had seen it on the way and was using it as a cover story since it was... I mean, it wasn't that broken. It was just a dent I hadn't gotten around to fixing. A little rude of her to say it was broken. But it was a cover story. She was up to something, which meant my night was about to be longer than anticipated. My guard up, I noticed some things I hadn't before. She had her hands buried deep in the pockets of a long black jacket and hadn't taken them out our entire conversation. Major red flag. I had to figure out what was going on here. Okay, let's go take a look at it then.
Does the brand matter that much?
I mean, if we need international parts for it, it's going to be more expensive to fix.
Oh. I'll pay on completion.
Okay, then please write down your contact information here and we can both get home soon.
Don't you need my, insurance information?
I would if this was serious. I know you're stalling or something, but it's late and neither of us wants to be here. The doors lock automatically at 1 in the morning, and I'd rather we both be out by then. Can we please just call this a night?
I have no idea what you mean, but I would like to speak to your manager.
Then come back tomorrow morning. He's not here. It's about to be tomorrow, and you're trying to get me to fix my own bike, which, admittedly, I should do. But for right now, I'd rather you stop messing around and tell me why you're here. Great, and there goes the doors. I'm going to come over and unlock them, and then if you don't mind, then we're just going to...
Move toward me, and I'll fire.
Yeah, I figured. Classic trench coat in the hands of the pocket maneuver. You don't have much of a future in the acting industry. Well, armed robbery pays better anyway. Unfortunately for you, we have security cameras, and you didn't even make an effort to hide your face. If you don't want the police to come find you this time tomorrow, I recommend you drop the gun and don't move a muscle when
Do you shut up? Thank God. This isn't a robbery. My priorities are that you don't leave this building until morning, and that you live. In that order. I don't want to kill you, and I don't want any money from the register or whatever you're thinking. I just need you to stay still and stay quiet. I am exhausted, but my aim is fine.
So I shut up. I didn't believe her. She was probably a thief, maybe waiting for backup or some kind of signal. But I wasn't stressed about it. If you don't have a gun pulled on you every once in a while, that probably means you need to get outside more. Anyway, we'd long since learned not to keep anything valuable on the premises. And we had her face. She's as good as caught anyway. So I just... waited. 1 o'clock came and went in absolute silence, and so did 2. Whatever she was waiting for, it didn't seem to be coming. I sat behind the desk and didn't move. She stood with her gun pointed at me, looking annoyed, on edge, and tired. That was odd for a shoplifter. She confused me in a lot of ways, but that was the one that bothered me the most. When you do a heist, most people get some rest first. What kind of criminal was she?
Okay. So I guess we're gonna be here for a while. I'm going to sit down, but I am not turning my back to you. And I don't think you want to test my reflexes. Don't move a muscle. Remember, your life is still priority 2.
There are chairs. We have a waiting area. You don't have to sit on the counter.
I like having my back to the wall. Makes it harder to sneak up on me.
No one's going to. The doors are locked. That's kind of like the whole point of...
quiet.
I want to be prepared for anything. I'm sitting against the wall because I don't want to be surprised.
We sat quietly for a minute. It was 2:30 in the morning, and I was a little tired too. She seemed as bored as I was, though. She was kicking her feet against the wooden cabinetry like a toddler in a high chair. Suddenly, I realized she couldn't have been much older than me. Usually that's too young for things to have gone horribly wrong in your life yet, though I guess I should know otherwise. Still, I wondered why she ended up doing this. So, what's your name anyway? I'll go first then. I'm
Iowa Tarnish. You're 19, you've been working here for 6 months. You specialize in vehicle repair, but you're all around very talented. Pike's Mechanic is lucky to have you.
Oh, thanks. I'd call you sweet if you didn't still have a gun to my head.
That's not... It's objective. From what I could find on you, you're one of the most promising engineers in the city.
So, Vivian, why do you know so much about me?
That's not my name. And I checked your file before I came to make sure you were the right person. I wasn't about to lock up an innocent civilian in a mechanics with me all night.
All night? Great. Hold on, my file?
God damn it. Just stop asking me questions.
Whatever you say, Abby.
Not even close.
And so the hours went by. I asked questions, and she'd continue to warm up until I went too far and got a gun waved in my face. I didn't make any more progress on why she was here, but I did manage to get a long list of names that weren't hers. I decided that if we had met under different circumstances, I probably would have liked her. She seemed... well, it was hard to tell. Anyway, we were cut off at about 3 in the morning by an unexpected disturbance.
What was that?
I don't know. Sounded like it came from upstairs.
There's an upstairs?
Yeah, that's where the workshop is.
Damn it. Damn it. Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't...
Shut up. You have to stay quiet. Get behind the couch. They weren't supposed to come here. I figured the front, the locked door. This was supposed to be safe. God damn it.
What's going on?
Move. Get behind the... Go. Get out here, you little... Gotcha.
What? Who was that?
Somebody here to kill you. And would have probably succeeded. You're welcome for your life. Not that I expected to. You know. I figured they'd go to your house. And we couldn't find an address for you, so I was told to keep you here until morning. I was told they'd go to where you live, but I guess they couldn't find your address either. And they knew I'd come here, and they...
They figured they could take both of us.
Yeah.
Are you... okay?
I'm fine. Go home, Iowa. I'll clean whoever this was up. Just be glad it isn't you. Do everyone a favor and pretend this never happened tomorrow morning.
Are you gonna tell me who you are? Why you're here?
It's not relevant to you right now.
At least explain why someone wanted to kill me.
They don't. Didn't. Or... It's complicated. Everything's fine. Go home.
I shouldn't have left the mechanics right then. I should have asked her more questions. I should have tried to figure out what was going on. I should have helped her clean up the dead man halfway through the door to the workshop. Instead, I dialed the code into the keypad to unlock the doors and walked across the parking lot to where my bike was. And then I rode home. Home for Iowa Tarnish was a dingy little room that had once belonged to some kind of custodian at a long since abandoned airplane hangar uptown. There were a lot of that type of building in Harper. Once, the city had been the world capital of travel manufacturing, which essentially means we made a lot of airplanes. But business slowed down to pretty much a stop a while back. They called it the finish line, the end of the space race, the start of colonization. The moon came first. Mars was more successful, but really, if you had the money, you could go to either. But the Tarnish family hadn't had the money. So, like most of the human race, we stayed. Stayed in a world whose population had decreased by 18%. The economy hadn't been able to take a hit like that. The rest of the world collapsed not long after Harper City, leaving massive airplane hangars abandoned and cold in the middle of uptown. Real estate doesn't get cheaper than that. My room was comprised of a creaky twin bed in one corner, a small dresser opposite, and a singular lamp with a chain hanging down in the middle of the ceiling. It was small, but to an optimist, small is cozy, and I try to be an optimist when I can afford to. I wasn't quite feeling the coziness now. I was more feeling the tiny underground room with nowhere to hide and nowhere to run vibe. I was on edge. After the night I had had, how could I not be? I triple bolted the door. The 3 bolts on the door had not been there when I had arrived, but a mechanic gets bored. The lamp had also not been there, or the generator in the corner. When I had extra time, I liked fixing up rooms in the hangar. It made me feel useful. I jumped. My phone had been quiet all night, and I always had it on silent at work. I was only supposed to get notifications from my sister and an incoming call from Callan Berg, my manager. Berg was exactly the type of guy you'd expect to be running a mechanics in Harper. He was in his mid-50s, but already his hair was almost all white. He was tall, gruff, and people joked that he'd never learn how to smile. People made a lot of jokes, but whether or not they meant them, he did get the job done, and done well. I would never say it to his face, but I liked Mr. Berg. I accepted the call. Hey, boss. Normally you calling me at 4 a.m. is cause for some kind of further investigation, but you would not believe the night I've had, so unless this is life-threatening, which I certainly hope it isn't because I've had enough of that for one day, I'm going to bed. Good night.
I'm afraid you can't quite yet. Tarnish, I'm so sorry. I'm just sorry.
Okay. You realize that I didn't actually die, right, Cal?
I can't help but feel responsible for what happened tonight. It was supposed to be a no-risk operation. But we almost lost James, and we almost lost you, and that, I'm sorry.
It's okay, Mr. Berg. Can I ask, how did you know about this already? And also, why are people trying to kill me? And you said James. Is that the girl who... Did you know her? Did you send her?
I can't answer any of your questions. You've already been far too involved. Getting any more tangled in this mess will only put your life at greater risk. I've made up my mind to shut down Pikes. You were attacked because of where you work, not who you are. It could have been any of my employees. I must make certain that none of you are harmed going forward. If we reopen, you will have a job waiting for you. Until then, I wish you the best of luck. Goodbye.
Wait, you can't just fire me like that?
I'm not...
Call it whatever you want. I still don't have a job, Mr. Berg. I don't think you understand my situation, and I have no desire to explain it. But suffice it to say that the risk is worth it to me. I really need this.
I'm sorry. However, you're an extremely capable young person, and I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding employment.
That's just the problem. I'm a young person, Mr. Berg. I'm 19 and my life's kind of unstable right now. You were willing to hire me. Not many places would do the same. The engineering industry is pretty cutthroat in Harper.
Believe me, I know. I almost lost one of my best employees to that cutthroat industry today. Look, that's exactly why I can't keep the mechanics open. It's simply too much of a liability. I wish there was anything I could do. Truly. If you need a statement of recommendation, you have my number.
Wait, Mr. Berg. It's funny which things get to you. I had almost lost my life tonight, but I was more upset about losing my job. I beat the hell out of my pillow for a while, which made me feel better. And then I cried into it, which made me feel worse. I considered writing home about everything, but thought better of it. Maybe I would get a new job tomorrow and no one would notice that the money had stopped coming. Maybe someone would find me at the hangar and finish the job. And maybe I would wake up tomorrow and this would all turn out to be some twisted dream. Some kind of horrible nightmare. And as the Harper skyline was lit up with the first slow rays of sunrise, I fell into an uneasy sleep.
Iowa. Come to the Bluebird Hotel at 7 p.m. tomorrow if you're truly desperate for a job. I've pulled pulled some strings and may have found something that will work. Don't get your hopes up, it's a long shot. Please call me back if you're planning to come. Good night. You might want to bring an overnight bag. Who knows when you'll get back home.
Thank you for listening to the first installment of Secrets of the Bluebird Hotel. This episode was written and produced by Sophie McDaniel, with original music by Ian McDaniel. The voice of Callan Bird was Alex Rudder, the voice of the unnamed girl was Anna Hiciano, and the voice of Iowa Tarnish was Lee Silverstein. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and tell your friends. We'll see you soon with the next chapter of our story.